All right, welcome everybody to the Tarqaron podcast, another episode. All right.
Hello. Yes, I'm here too.
Yeah,
Not just Zach this
in
time.
case you're new, it's a monthly podcast we do. So, no, we're not able to cover quite as much like of all the super current stuff as we'd like to, but monthly check-in basically. We'll talk about whatever we want to talk about, whether it's gaming related, movie related, TV, anything, or and then at the end we'll always do a little reflection on our last month of videos and read some comments as well,
hmm
right? And we'll read
hmm
pretty much any comment you leave. We'll read it more or less, you know.
Yeah,
Unless
we've
you guys,
even read some vile, nasty comment. No,
yeah,
I.
yeah. I mean, I'll read hate comments. I don't care, but
Sure, why
as long
not?
as they're not
We can.
derogatory.
Yeah.
So, but
So,
yeah, here we are. What's going on?
well, I've been playing video games again, which has been kind of fun.
Whoa, I've been
I
playing video
know.
games as well. I mean,
Yeah.
one that I won't be able to talk about very much because we'll be doing a video soon for the Gents challenge. You know,
Mm,
I did play through Kingdom Hearts very recently, so that'll be
it's
something we can
true.
get into for sure in a separate video.
Yeah, and well, there's something related to that
Hmm.
that's going to involve me. Should we get should things go a certain way with the Gents challenge?
That's right.
So I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw. Yeah,
Yep.
I there's no time frame. They didn't give me a time frame though. No one's like foisted a
At
time frame
some point
upon
in your
me.
life, yeah, you just gotta do that at
Yeah,
some
at
point
some
in your
point in
life.
my life, I'm gonna have to do that.
Which I feel like is pretty likely. We're getting down to the wire here with 10 days left, but
Yeah,
now
yeah, not bad at
boiling it
all.
down. So basically, yeah, we're talking vaguely. We don't really have to because the challenge will be over, or might. It'll be close. It'll be around when the challenge is finishing
Yeah,
up here. So, um,
yeah.
basically, the Gents challenge is going on. It's a thing we do with our community, a gaming community on Discord, which you can always join. There's a link on my website that you can always click to join the Discord if you'd like. And we'll do a challenge where everybody lists their games they want to finish, and they have to assign their partner two games from that list. If you beat one, you're a gent. If you beat two, you're a supreme gent. If you beat neither, you're a rascal. And Alec
Yeah.
missed the deadline on that challenge, and we do.
Yeah, it sucks too because I was like writing it up too. Like I had like a whole thing like written up and I just never hit enter on it. It was awful. I fell asleep. I fell asleep and I never hit enter.
But you'll notice
Terrible.
we do videos on the challenge on this channel. So we'll do one before the challenge, and then after
Mm.
the challenge, saying how it went. Um, so we'll be able to get into it there. But basically, we're at the on the precipice of having our first ever 100% success rate. Every single person, at least a
Yeah.
gent, potentially. I had finished mine like a week or so ago, and then we
hmm
were down to two people left to do it, which happened to be two of the most successful gents ever. Like my brother's never missed a single one, and then Mr.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts boy has only missed like one or two in the history.
Yeah.
And he's got Super Mario Sunshine. Like, what are you doing, bro? Finish
Yeah,
Super Mario
that's
Sunshine.
really that's like a 15-hour game basically, if that.
And he had Persona 5
Um
Royal, so if you wanted to start with that one, he could have done that.
he could have done that, but that seems like that's a bad idea. But um yeah. And your brother has been like a supreme gent almost every time, I think.
Hmm.
So um
Yeah, so I have no doubt. He said he has like he's got like a week or so of vacation time he's taken around
yeah.
like so it's like a couple of days before the challenge. So he'll have like the weekend or so to finish it
Mm,
out. Hopefully,
there
master.
you go. Well, yeah, we got Thanksgiving coming up as well. I don't know if
Hmm.
you and your family celebrate on Thanksgiving. Do they do anything like separate
We used
or
to
what
do
have
like a
you?
big joint thing, but now it's usually my sister and her uh her kids. Like my sister works on Thanksgiving, so she's not able to
Mm,
come together for it. So it'll just be me, my mom,
yeah.
my brother, maybe. We'll see. But Yeah, so I have no doubt that he'll finish it because like I don't think he would let
Yeah.
himself do that at this point. He's
No, he
got a
would.
hundred
He
percent
couldn't live with
success
them.
rate himself.
Yeah. How could you? How could you? That would be my thing. How could you? But should everybody reach the success rate, I have been tasked by one of the forum members, and everyone else sort of agreed to it. I agreed to it. I said, sure, if everybody does it, then I will go for the platinum trophy in Balan Wonderworld,
Mhm.
um, which is a game that's notoriously was got a lot of hate when it came out because it's not really the best game ever. Um, it's
Mine's
hard to
sitting
even
right
say if
here on
it's
the PS5 waiting to be played.
it's it's hard to say if it's even good, but it's a game that I actually really enjoy. I really like that game a lot. Um, I think it overstays its welcome, and from what I understand, the platinum is awful. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
we do that final Gents Challenge video within probably 2 weeks from now, we'll be able to talk about
Mm,
that, if everybody was a gent
yeah.
or not, and then we'll be able to talk about some Kingdom Hearts because obviously you're a Kingdom Hearts fan. We'll be able to discuss that. Um, you actually beating it for the
Hmm.
first
I look
time
forward to that.
in the year of our Lord 2023.
Yeah. So like, when did you said yeah, Year of Our Lord 20? When did Kingdom Hearts original come out? I think it was 2002. If
2002.
memory
Mm-hmm.
serves. Yeah. So it's been a while, Zach. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been 20 years.
Yeah, I
20
mean,
whole
because
ding
on
dang
the Gents
years.
Challenge videos, we'd usually be able to talk about what were we both assigned, how did our challenges go, how are they gonna go. But it was
Yeah.
just me this time, and you're just a spectator, so we'll be able to actually have a
Yeah.
discussion on the Kingdom Hearts.
On the actual game, yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be good.
because I have some thoughts.
Um I've been but yeah, I've been playing some games, doing a little catch up.
Yeah.
Uh no mayo though, just catch up. And
Heyo.
hey, that was a terrible. I feel terrible for
Heyo.
it. Um I've been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5.
Well.
It's a launch game for the PS5, and I've really been wanting to play Spider-Man 2. I literally have the collector's edition sitting right my next to my bed over there, and I want to play it. So
Hmm.
at some point before the year's done. So that's the plan to eventually get around to doing that. But I've also been playing. It just came out this past weekend is Mario RPG. Should I say Super Mario RPG? They
Hmm.
didn't give it a subtitle this time for some reason.
Right.
Um, and I have been having a delightful time with that game. So
Yeah, I've only played a couple hours, but it's a treat for sure.
I read a comment that somebody said that like, please, like, let this developer do a remake of Earthbound,
Hmm.
because if they would the there's just so much care and like craft and like respect given to the original game in this,
Right.
but they spruced it up and they made it look so beautiful. Like I just can't get over, like, each new area I go to, I just can't get over how good it all looks. And it's just like a very simple, like, isometric kind of layout of everything, but they still just made it look really
Mm.
nice.
It's true, and
So
it's very
yeah.
easy as far as RPGs go. It's definitely
Yes. Yeah,
really
it's
easy. So I honestly, even it being like a Super Nintendo game, I think it would be pretty good game for like young kids to get into. It's like a into the RPG genre.
absolutely. I feel like they've made this, they made it like a little easier even from the original
That's what I
game,
feel.
because I
Yeah.
remember I've only had like a few party like it's only happened like a couple times where I've actually gotten like like a party member die.
Hmm.
Um that usually happened with a little bit more frequency, I would say, in the Super Nintendo version. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of elements of it that definitely make it feel a lot easier. Um but it's not really detracting that much from my experience. I'm still having a great time.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all because
And
like a lot of these
yeah,
RPGs, you get used to like this nature of certain RPGs where you get to this super hard boss and you're expected to grind like just to be able to survive a single attack. It's like, and obviously, like I said, I've only played a few hours into it, so I don't know if there's any like jump in difficulty at some point, or there's certain particularly hard bosses or anything. But
Mm,
so far, it definitely seems to be on the easier side, even easier than like a Paper Mario maybe.
mm,
Um, because the action commands are pretty simple. Um,
mm-hmm.
but it's still so fun. Just like how I love Paper Mario's battle system, the action commands really just, even if they're simple, adds a lot to it. Other than like where some turn-based RPGs can just be kind of mindless, just like going through the motions, let them do the thing. It's like some charm to it. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that the thing that I've really appreciated is that they've pretty much kept the script of the Super Nintendo version like almost completely intact. Like I haven't changed much of the dialogue,
Right.
um, which is a huge plus. I think sometimes it's like, yeah, you update the script, make it close to the Japanese or whatever. No, the English script of this game was hilarious. And it's always been funny,
Yeah.
and it's just as funny as it was then. And that to me is the Toads are sarcastic little guys. I love it.
Right.
I love how like snarky they are. Um, there's kind of like elements of like 90s humor that like are still persist, like in the like there's the one that I always go to that like always makes me laugh, which is the it's very early on where like Mallow's chasing the Croco out of Mushroom Kingdom, and they tell like the guard that like Mallow goes to the guard and he's like, hey, why didn't you stop him? And the Toad just looks at him and he's just like, because I left my bazooka at home. Sheesh, give me a break.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I was like, the stuff like that is just so funny, and I love it.
And Mario is almost like Charlie Chaplin esque. It's like you respond with a little hop. It's just like it's funny
Yeah,
how they incorporate that in a bunch of different things. Like, how do you feel about that, Mario?
yeah,
And I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, hop.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You
I
do the hop.
agree.
Yeah, it's like, are you really Mario? And then the game like will stop and like wait for you to do the jump, and then you're like, oh,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
yeah, you
yeah,
are.
proves it.
uh,
It's like that one hop, which is all Mario can do when he's walking around. That just
mhm.
takes on a life of its own. It could mean yes, I am Mario. It could mean yes, I'm down for it, or no, I'm scared. That's also like him being
Yeah.
scared. It's like whoa.
It's just been a big treat. And yeah, the studio, I think Art Piazza or something like that. Arte Piazza, something like that. I can't remember the exact. They've done a great job with the just the finer mechanics of everything,
Mhm.
the visuals and all that, but also the soundtrack. Big highlight to the soundtrack. I think they've done such a wonderful job um of making it feel. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, this is one of Yoko Shimomura's earliest games. She worked at SquareSoft um, in the '90s. I actually think her earlier game, I believe, was Live Alive.
Mhm.
Was a game that came out I think in 1994 or 1995. I don't remember which, but so this came out after that. And I've for the original soundtrack is very like nostalgic for me. I love the original soundtrack very much, and to me, what's been delightful about this is that it's like it's like she oversaw the rearrangements of it, and it feels like she had the same people that do the orchestrations for Kingdom Hearts have been working with this game, and for especially like later Kingdom Hearts games, Kingdom Hearts one's a little different, but um in terms of its like or general orchestration and stuff. But like the later Kingdom Hearts games, you can definitely like tell what she tends to favor in terms of the instrumentation. It's very similar in the stuff that's being sort of like highlighted as the main instruments in Mario RPG, and been a real treat. So
Did you see the
yeah,
setting that you could change the music to? Yeah.
you can at any point in the game you can change the music back to the original score, which I've done a few times just for fun. But I played that game. I played through that game probably like 4 or 5 times throughout my life. So it's like I can switch on. I want to listen to what the
Right.
new renditions are. I want to know what the new stuff sounds like. So yeah.
And so I mean, so far, they did add like minor things, like they added what do you call it? The monster index. What do you call it?
Yeah, it's the monster list or something. Yeah, it's like a little. Yeah,
Which I always like.
I like that.
You get track
Yeah.
stuff. I've always liked the even the title log in the Paper Mario
Mm.
games. So it's very reminiscent of that for sure.
The cutscenes too. They actually added
Yeah.
like pre-rendered cutscenes, and those are gorgeous. Like every single one of those is just like, oh, it's the scene that was just played out in the game. It's
It
like
is
they had a little pre-rendered
it is kind
cutscene.
of
It was
weird
very
a
nice.
couple times where it like just keeps playing the same music as it goes into the cutscene, and it kind of feels weird. Like there's no like oomph to it. It's just like playing like the town music going into the cutscene and just keeps playing the town music. I just remember that early on, like one of the first ones I saw that. Oh, that's
Mm.
because you
Interesting,
got no
interesting
audio. You just
decision.
see the text over it, and it's the same music. I'm like, all right, I don't
Mm.
really feel it, but yeah, it's nice though. It's an addition. Like I said, when we heard about the announcement of Super Mario RPG, even before we knew about Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door coming, I was already like, "This is a good sign that this is happening at all," and hopefully,
Yeah.
if enough people support it, we can get something going. Maybe get a sequel or just more games in the same vein. I would love that. And
I think it would be great if we did, because like the fact that they didn't give this a subtitle, like because the original game weirdly has a subtitle, and they didn't really need one.
right,
But the fact that this doesn't have one is like maybe that could potentially lead into future stuff going on. I mean, I this to me, this developer, I would trust them with a game, like with a full game in this style. I think they could absolutely nail it.
oh yeah.
Um, so
And I mean, you
yeah,
could go any manner of directions with it. Like there is a world where this game looked completely different if they wanted to completely overhaul it. But obviously,
sure.
they did more like the kind of Link's Awakening esque treatment to it, where it's like more or less the same style, the
Mm.
isometric look to it, but just polished to the visuals. There could have been a
Hmm.
complete overhaul, like um, Final Fantasy VII remake esque take
Yeah,
on Super Mario RPG.
Mario RPG. That'd be wild if they did that.
So
That
it's
would
like I
be.
wonder if they were to make like a sequel or something, maybe they would get more ambitious with it. I don't know, or would
Mm.
they keep it the same style? I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
there's a lot. Be a lot of. It would be interesting to see the developments after this is out and the
yeah.
dust is settled, and then after Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door comes out. See, all right, where are we going from here? Are we getting any new RPGs in this vein? Are we just gonna go back to the garbage Paper Mario games we were spewing before? Like, what's good? We'll see,
Yeah,
because they could go either
yeah. I
direction with it.
yeah. I do hope they take that all into account. Um, and again, I'm still hoping and waiting, fingers crossed, for merch for this Mario RPG.
Yeah,
Um, Mario RPG merchandise from the '90s, very very rare, like unbelievably rare.
right.
So
I mean,
yeah.
if they even without this game, if they had sold Geno merch, just from the name alone, it would have done wonders. But now with this,
I
it's like
I'm
double
I'm on that.
distancing.
Like I'm gonna be so on that whenever it happens. It's got to happen, right? Right? It's got to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it has to.
And I'm seeing now,
But
like after it's all the hubbub about Geno and Smash, and we went Geno and Smash, but now as people are playing
mm,
it now, some for the first time and some after years, they're like, you know what, Mallow actually has a lot of the personality here. Like, what's good? No love for Mallow, so there might be a little bit of a resurgence of some love for Mallow as well.
Mallow's the nice soft boy. Gino. So the thing about Gino is that he's like the edgy character, you could say, or he's very self-serious, right? He's very like self-important, serious. He also has just a cool design. He's blue. He's got this cape. He's like a puppet. It's such a neat little. You don't see RPG characters look like that,
Mm.
like ever. So
I saw
I
someone
think that's
compare
kind of
him
his big.
to Boba Fett in that he's just visual. He's so popular just based on the how he looks. He doesn't have that much personality, but I
It's
don't know why
kind of
for that.
true,
Hmm.
actually. It is kind of true.
But I'm excited to see what the future holds here. Um,
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
and I've still got a lot more to get through of that, and I'm looking forward to that as
Mhm.
well. But I did very recently play through Super Mario Bros. Wonder. All right.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet,
And
but
so I finished it and I 100%ed that bad boy, which to me
mm,
is like the only way to play this game, I feel like, unless you're like for playing with kids or whatever like that.
mhm,
Because as I'm playing through the game, I'm like, wow, this is really easy, maybe a little too easy for me. I wasn't There were only a couple minor parts where like it was a little challenging, and usually those challenges came with collecting the extra like the purple coins that you need to 100% the
mm,
game. But if you're just playing it without that, it really feels like nothing. Like I was watching one person playing through the game who was like, I don't want to have to worry about the collectibles, and it was like he was like, "Whoa, I need a challenge here." It was like child's play, just breezing through these levels. If you're not
yeah,
stopping and actually getting the wonder seeds and the purple coins, there's not really. It doesn't feel like
mm,
much depth to it. So I feel like if you're gonna try, you should at least try to collect some of the stuff. Definitely try to get the wonder seeds in every level because that's the beauty of the game. All the weird stuff that could happen in every level. And then after the whole game being pretty easy, you're presented with like the this final world or the final level is something with like rage in the title, like Bowser's Rage level or
mm.
something. And it was like I beat it in like 2 tries or something. Like, come on, where's my
Yeah.
challenge? And then finally, after you 100% do everything possibly you can do, which includes like you have to get the top of the flagpole on every level, you have to find all the secret exits, you have to get all the purple coins, all the wonder seeds, and all the standees, which is like a collectible online thing as well.
Mhm.
And then it opens up the super extra hard level at the end, which was really gnarly and was one of the hardest Mario levels I've ever played. So it took me so many tries. It's crazy.
Wow,
That would give me all
that's great.
the challenge I needed right there. It was almost in the same vein of like Mario Galaxy 2, the Daredevil run. If you ever played that level,
Yeah, I played some of those. I would say the for me, probably the hardest Mario level I think I've ever played. I feel like Champions Road in Super Mario 3D World is
yeah,
probably the hardest Mario level.
yeah,
The last stuff in the final moon levels in Super Mario Odyssey are also similarly very hard.
yeah.
Um, but Champions Road is still I still would rank that up there as that one of the hardest Mario levels ever made.
And that's the kind of
So
stuff I love from
I'm
Mario games too. I always love that,
yeah.
like the extra challenge they always tend to do right at the end with an
Hmm.
extra bonus level or whatever. But it was like very much in the vein of like the what's called the perfect run on Mario Galaxy 2, which is the final level where you get it's a Daredevil run and the
Yes.
super hard level with Yoshi involved and stuff.
Yes.
I
I
remember
remember that.
that
Yeah.
was a great. I remember that's like so satisfying when you finally finish that. And to
Mm.
me, this took the cake. I think it's the hardest I played. I'm not. I'd have to replay that again, but I would play that when I was like a teenager, young teenager. I feel like at this
Mm.
point, so um, I feel like this one has to be harder. There is a checkpoint in there, or a couple checkpoints, but even with that, I ended up
It's
having
still
to go
hard.
go way back. The first section is the easier section anyway, but everything feels very impossible as you're being introduced to each new section because essentially it's a marathon of the badges, which is a new feature of the game where you have different badges you
Mm.
can equip that give you different abilities you can use, like an extra wall jump or extra spin jump, make you turn invisible, things like that. And it basically marathons you through all these different badges, and it feels impossible. But then by the end of it, it's like it's all muscle memory, like wall jumps. It feels almost like if you've ever watched Kaizo Mario, it feels almost like that kind of super precise platforming they expect from you. There's just a lot of cool stuff. I thought the badges in general were cool in the game. I really liked that feature, though I do think it needed to be fleshed out more because it ended up being like a couple of them were way better and more useful than the other ones. So I am ended up
Mm.
using the same one more or less after a while. But I would love to see
They
that
seem really
fleshed out
cool
more.
based on what I've seen about them. I like them as a mechanic.
And they had an
They're
ongoing
neat.
type of level where it would be like using the you have to use a certain badge, and I like that. And I feel like that would be cool if they had more challenging levels of that type.
Mm.
But there was even one level that was very much reminded me of like a Super Meat Boy kind of level, where it was like super vertical and like
Yeah, now
having to do.
you're speaking my language when you say
Oh
that.
yeah, like that kind of stuff. I was like that was a good challenge. Some precise like vertical wall jumping segments using like a badge where it gives you an extra wall jump, and but it's like after that it's like you don't really have anything like that. You just need a more challenge mixed in, I think, because it's like super easy
Mm.
unless you want 100%. Then it's super hard for the one level. So other than that, I like really enjoyed it. I don't see it. I think it's honestly like the only one of the few games that came out this year that I've beaten.
Yeah.
But from what I've played of like Final Fantasy 16, Tears of the Kingdom, and what I've the impression I get from other games, I wouldn't put this in like game of the year type territory for me. But
It's a little interesting that is it maybe a little out of place with its contemporaries like
so you want to
Final
talk
Fantasy
about the
16 didn't get the nod. I guess we can transition to that. I was either going to be that or I was actually going to talk about the Completionist now as well,
oh
but
yeah, but let's talk
we can
about
maybe
the game awards. They dropped the
yeah.
nominees of
Yeah.
the different categories. Of course, I don't feel qualified to. I didn't feel qualified to vote any because I haven't played most of the heavy hitters. I've played out of the nominees. I played Mario Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, and Final Fantasy 16. The only ones I can think of out of the main like ones that were getting
Yeah.
nominations. But yeah, so Mario Wonder is one of the nominees for Game of the Year. What are the other ones?
So the Game of the Year nominees are Alan Wake 2, um, Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Mario Wonder, and Resident Evil Remake 4.
Resident
Resident
Evil
Evil 4
4, right?
Remake.
And so I have a feeling that Baldur's Gate 3 is the front runner there, just from the.
It's like to me, it's kind of a toss up between Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom, but I think that Alan Wake 2 could be like a random like a wild card spoiler here, just with recency bias.
But it's kind of crazy. Like this has been a crazy year in gaming. Even having not played a
Yeah.
lot of the big ones, I'm like, dang. There's a lot of very challenging categories where usually it might be like a layup for a Zelda game to come in, like a Zelda game of this caliber. It's like, all right, this is gonna be probably the game of the year here. But it's like, I don't know. It might not even be the front runner at this point.
Yeah,
Baldur's
it's
Gate 3 is
crazy
the
to say
most
that.
nominated thing, right?
It is. Yeah, it kind of took the world by storm
Yeah. And I mean,
when it came out.
I haven't
So,
played it, so I can't speak on it, but it does really interest me. And from what I've heard about it,
oh,
like it's really, I mean, it's really deserving, and I wouldn't
yeah.
be
So
surprised if it won.
all of my friends that I played tabletop stuff with, we were playing D&D. We're now playing Pathfinder, which is funny because this is a D&D related thing.
Hmm.
It's in set in the Forgotten Realms, but um, they just won't stop talking about it. So like I know like a lot of the stuff that goes on. I've played Larian's other game that came out before this one, Divinity 2 Original Sin, which is like one of the best like RPGs like of this style that's supposedly people say it's like one of the best game like this style of game like ever released, and this like blows it completely out of the water. So yeah, I mean,
It just feels like this game,
pretty amazing.
just from what I've heard, moves the needle on so many things, and it's like really
Mm,
groundbreaking. To whereas, as much as I liked Tears of the Kingdom, it really felt like Breath of the Wild again, Breath of the Wild 2. And so I wouldn't be upset at Baldur's Gate
yeah.
3 winning. And I don't know about the other ones,
To
but
me, the thing that makes Tears of the Kingdom really stand out is the engine building stuff, like all of the crafting things that you can do in it. Because like I didn't play very much of that game. I think I can speak for both of us. I don't think either of us played too much of it. It's been a weird year for gaming for me. I've gone in peaks and valleys where like I'll be playing stuff like a lot and then I won't play anything for like a long time. Um, so it was kind of a weird year for me. But to me, the thing that is like such a huge highlight of that game is the fact that like I felt like everything that I felt with the world being open to me in Breath of the Wild when I was playing that game now is that as a game mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have like endless opportunities to like play through the game and create like all these different things. The way that the game opens the world up to you is now in a system that you can explore the world with. And that to me was just like my mind, like I remember when I was first playing the game I was like, this is amazing. Like I've never felt anything like this in a video game before. Sort of the same way that I felt when I was playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. I just got caught up with work and tiredness and who knows what else. I don't know. And
Right.
I didn't play it. And then Final Fantasy 16 came out. I played that for a while, and then I still haven't beaten that game either.
Right. Same.
So,
But I think
um,
I played like 10 or 15 hours of
but
it. But it was.
yeah, and I that to me is like kind of the big selling point of like what makes that game great and what makes it a worthy successor of Breath of the Wild. Because my dad's actually been playing Breath of the Wild, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought my dad would ever be interested in a game like this. He's only ever really shown much interest in like puzzle games and World War II first-person shooters, and that's like
That's
almost exclusively.
right. They go
My
hand in
brother
hand.
got him Hitman. He really likes the Hitman games. He has fun with those as well. He's started playing those. And he's enjoyed his time with those, but he's been playing like Breath of the Wild for like the last like month and a half. Like as soon as he got his Switch, like
Mm-hmm.
that was the one game he got. Well, one of the games he got with it. He was like, oh, I want a bunch of Mario games. So I went over when he first got it, and I lent him a bunch of my Mario games. And he hasn't played like any of them. He's
Yeah.
just been playing that. So I was like, do you really need Mario games? This game's probably good for the. You're probably set for this for months at this point. So um and it's fun getting to like re-experience because like I visited yesterday and it was just fun kind of getting to see him like uh kind of have the same like wonderment that I had playing the game
Wonderful.
for the first time. And it's kind of like the same sort of feeling that he's experiencing when he's playing it,
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun. My dad's not very good at video games. He's it can be sometimes a little obviously it be a little frustrating. It's like I have to like rearrange the perfectionist slash autist part of my brain.
Right. Well,
That's like
once
it's like you have to do it
you
this way. And
once you see
it's like
a normal functioning person play a video game, you realize quickly there is a gamer gene. And, you either got it or you
yeah.
don't. There's a
Yeah.
just like the basic functions how games work. Like some people they
Yeah.
play a game, they rarely play games. Like that just doesn't work. They don't have it.
Oh my god, there was a streamer that I was watching the other day. She's a cosplayer I follow. She was actually the body model for Ashley in Resident Evil 4 remake.
Okay.
They used her physique for Ashley.
Hmm.
So she in her North Irish accent scolded people. She was like, "So when you're gawking at Ashley, you're looking at my ass." um but she was playing Final Fantasy 7. And it was like I had to turn it off. I was only watching for like 3 minutes. I was like, no, fuck, I can't do this. I was just like, I can't watch this. This is so frustrating to watch. um, so I was like, because it was like one of those things where like I watch Dubs play Final Fantasy 7. Dubs isn't like his. Tim, I don't know this. Obviously, he could correct me if he's listening to this. As far as I know, his biggest experience with like RPGs is basically Pokemon and not really much else beyond that. I think there might have been a Digimon RPG that he played as well. And as far as I'm aware, not much past that. Like Golden Sun was a game that I played with him, or that I introduced to him in college. So we played through that. But he's not like the biggest, like he's not the most experienced gamer of all time, or whatever you want to say. So I helped him along, and I watched him play Final Fantasy VII. But that to me, it was like it wasn't really frustrating because like it just had very direct like feedback where I could just like talk to him about stuff and be like, hey, think about doing this thing or whatever. Like when I'm watching a streamer do it, and she's just mashing through dialogue, not paying attention to anything, and it's like, what are you doing? This game is like with a biscuit. Yeah. It's like yeah. It's just like it's the worst. So I was like, all right, well. But anyway, all that being said, game of the year,
Game of the year,
Game Awards.
I don't think Mario Bros. Wonder should really be up there. I think it's out of its league a little bit.
Biggest snub, Hogwarts Legacy.
True.
It's almost none of the awards. And I think there's a specific reason why.
They don't want the heat.
They don't want the heat. They don't even want to touch the heat.
By the way, I keep forgetting that. Like, I always think about there's so many games came out this year, and then I always forget Hogwarts Legacy came out. That's the reason I bought a PS5, and I did not play more than like 5 hours of it.
No, it's and in Happy Console Gamer's newest video where Kim rates her favorite RPGs. Spoiler alert: Hogwarts Legacy is number one.
Number one.
It's her favorite RPG of all time. So
of all time.
She's of all time. That's yeah. She loved that game. So
it's a treat, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. It's gonna be an absolute treat.
She grew up as a Harry Potter fan, so like that was like it was. She was like it was like everything was like brought back to me, and I was like, oh, it's wonderful. I think I should probably play that game at some point. Yeah. I think I should play this game. But
yeah, I mean, I think the reality is,
Final Fantasy 16 is a little bit of a snub too.
Right.
The game got great reviews when it came out. It sold pretty well.
From what I've played,
people seem
to have played, which is not Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, but that's probably my game of the year so far.
Yeah.
I would really want to finish it. That's the one that
I think with Alan Wake 2 is I think with Alan Wake 2 is just like it's just there's too many games that came out like right around the same time, and I don't like I was trying to play through Miles Morales to so I could play Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So
I haven't played the first Spider-Man. Well, I played it, but I haven't beaten it. So, I'm always behind the 8 ball in these things, though. You know.
Yeah. Same. I still haven't played God of War.
The first one.
God of War Ragnarok. I still haven't played that.
I'm slowly catching up with the mainstream AAA games, though. I'm gonna play Uncharted 2 soon. I promise. I'll be right there with you. 2009. I'll be all caught up there. But, yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy 16. Hogwarts Legacy got no nominations, right? Or no?
I might have gotten nominated for like something, but I don't remember what. I feel like it didn't.
We should pull.
Let's call up the list here. Actually, yeah, we should pull it up. Pull it up.
It's like I like how some of the categories. It's like best family. These are the best family games. Like, which one had the best?
Okay, family? One thing I saw raised, and I feel like it's a really good point, is the fact that like for like esports events and for like best esports athlete, where's all the fighting game people? Just tons of that's like.
I mean, I don't know who these
fighting games.
Anyway.
Yeah, the fighting game, the FGC, right? That's it. FCG, FGC.
FGC, yeah.
I don't know.
Fighting game community.
Started esports, bitch. Yeah. like for crying out loud. Yeah, that's I'm throwing in my gamer words. You know. I just don't get it. Oh, you can vote in Fortnite. Who cares? The hell is that? So
by the way, we're always every year we're gonna have the best action game, best action adventure. What?
Yeah.
So what's action? Action is just Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, and Hi-Fi Rush. and Remnant 2.
Yeah, so Hi-Fi Rush is kind of the nice surprise hit, I think, that's showed up a few places. That's been kind of delightful.
But Best Action Adventure, which we find to often be the case, a lot of these categories, like Action Adventure, will have like 4 out of the 5 of the Game of the Year nominees are in Action Adventure. And so you would think the winner of Game of the Year is probably going to win that one. Right? It's like, why would it not?
Maybe. That's why that's one of those ones where Jeff Keighley's just like, and the winner of this is this game. Yeah. All right, let's get another one out of the way.
Then that's like, well, Best Action Adventure, this should be a big one, right? And that's like, but that's probably going to be the winner. Whoever wins Best Action Adventure. But Baldur's Gate 3 isn't in there, so okay, we got
maybe. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is an RPG, so yeah, Best RPG.
Best RPG. No Hogwarts Legacy there. We got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. Wow, look at how many.
Starfield, from what I've understood. So my housemate's been playing that game. He says it is so disappointingly easy that it really has taken the wind out of the sails for the game for him, because he was really enjoying it for the first like 15, 20 hours or so. But he's just like, it's just too easy. He's like, I'm like I'm like under level 30 and I'm smoking level 90 stuff in this game. That's how easy it is. I'm like, oh, that's a little disappointing.
Easy way. That's the Mario Wonder for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's we're talking about like Bethesda style RPG. You shouldn't be able to do that in that, I don't think. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, that was a criticism of Mario Wonder for me. It's too easy, but
because it is too easy. Yeah. Well, hey, it could win Best Family.
Best Family. Who's got the best family? I'd say Mario has the best family. No,
yeah. Well, what about Pikmin 4? Look at that. That's an adorable looking family right there. And Pikmin 4. That's a wonderful family. Why is that game nominated for anything?
It would be interesting to see Pikmin 4 win.
I want Pikmin 4. I want Pikmin 4 to get some respect here. Maybe it beats out Fire Emblem Engage for best simulation game.
Right.
For strategy game, sim/strategy.
I could see
that'd be great.
I could see that happening, but could it beat Mario Wonder for best family in the business?
Best family. You gotta join the family.
What else we got?
But I think it's interesting for best RPG. Yeah, they have freaking Starfield and they don't have Hogwarts Legacy. Like that's crazy to me that they didn't.
Some Dave the Diver controversy. Did you hear about this?
What's the controversy about Dave the Diver?
That like it's not actually an indie game. It looks like an indie game, but it's funded by like a multi-million-dollar thing or something. I heard
what?
That somewhere.
Mint Rocket, Dave the Diver.
People are upset that Dave the Diver is nominated for best independent game when it's like got so much money funded behind it or whatever.
But a lot of indie games have that though. Like EA's indie game studio. Like I guess it sort of goes back to like what you determine as an indie game, I suppose.
Right.
Because a lot of for a lot of like indie games, a lot of it can have to do with like just small dev teams. I don't know. That's interesting. A subsidiary of Nexon, which is a South Korean video game publisher.
Nexon, I think I remember back in the day making a lot of online games like Combat Arms,
Maple Story,
the first-person shooter that I used to play. Maple Story, yeah.
Combat Arms. Oh yeah, right here, Combat Arms.
Yeah. I used to weirdly played that on the PC.
I think there's probably. Oh my god! I played Sudden Attack. That's like a South Korean first-person shooter. That's basically just a really bad Counter-Strike clone. I played that in college because some of the Korean friends I had were really into it. I really didn't like it. I kind of hated it actually, but they're like, yeah, play it with us, and I was like, okay. And I hated every second I was playing it. Basically, I was like, I'd rather play Sauerbraten. That game is ridiculous.
Combat Arms was a primitive first-person shooter that I played on the PC. One of the few games I was able to play on the PC, and it had a whole zombie mode too, which was very cool at the time. Like there's a zombies mode in Call of Duty now, and I remember you get bonus points for getting a nut shot if you shoot someone in the nuts.
That's cool.
or Best Fighting.
Best Fighting.
We got Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 in the mix. That game just came out very recently.
It did,
very
yeah.
good things about it though. Like it improved on a lot of the original, the faults of the original.
I don't think it holds a candle to Street Fighter 6.
No, it doesn't.
I think that game is a nice, refreshing breath of fresh air to the whole franchise. Mortal Kombat 1 is apparently pretty good too. So I think both of those are. It's going to be between those two.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
it'll be
think
Street
so.
Fighter.
I think it should be. So here's one thing, Zach, that I don't think you should feel too bad about voting. Should you decide to go back on it, and that's just the fact that like Game Awards is really really smart. I think the Crunchyroll Anime Awards need to really take this to heart, because the way that the voting is rated, the audience vote counts for 10% of the aggregate. 90% of the weight is on game journos, and I think that's the way it should be. I like the fact that there's a little bit of a weight put on the audience vote, but like it's not a popularity contest. It's like whatever the game journalists feel is the best game is what's probably going to win.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of leeway that can maybe help sway it a little bit with the audience vote. I think that's the way it should be doing it, and not like the Crunchyroll Awards where it's just like the fan vote gets everything basically, and it's like that's awful. It's like My Hero Academia winning everything the year. It doesn't do that anymore. But like My Hero Academia like swept the awards one year, and it was like My Hero Academia is great, but there was a lot of other great anime that came out that year and that didn't get highlighted or like lifted up very much.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
what the fuck is this game? I don't know.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah. So
pick the first esports athlete I see on the list. Boom, that's my favorite.
Yeah, so with esports athletes, I just pick like I don't know. I pick like so for best adaptation, I just voted for Super Mario Brothers movie because I know The Last of Us is just going to win anyway, because it should win, because I watched it and it was amazing. But Mario Brothers movie was that's the one. I mean, it made me feel like a little kid. So
what about best
content creator of the year?
Best multiplayer sponsored by Discord. What do you think is gonna win that? Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, or Super Mario Bros. Wonder? It's probably Street Fighter.
How does Baldur's Gate 3? Maybe, but I don't see how Baldur's Gate 3 loses that.
Oh, really?
Maybe it could be Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I mean the whole joy of that game is that you can form a party with your friends and play through the entire adventure together.
Right. Well, I mean,
that's amazing.
Yeah, but
that's wild. That's great.
Who didn't play that way, so it's one of those things where.
Sure, I mean you can play that way. Yeah.
I feel like that doesn't tend to win a award for best multiplayer. It usually goes to the one that's like built on multiplayer. Like Mario Bros. Wonder is a very weird nominee there. From what I've heard, there are multiple levels that are not even built for multiplayer. Like the badge levels don't really work very well.
One of the reasons why that's also on there is some of the online features. I think like the thumbs up system I think is really good. I think that like sort of harkens back to the finer details or the finer points of what Death Stranding did with its sort of online multiplayer sort of component in regards to having like a positive feedback in terms of the type of thing there.
Yeah, there's some sort of thing where you can set up standees and you can you can play alongside someone but not interact with them, kind of thing. I didn't get to mess with that because I don't play online nowadays, but yeah, I still have no shot.
Yeah, so that's that's why I'm not going to. Most anticipated game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think is kind of a shoe-in.
Yeah, there's not really anything else to ride.
Like Hades 2. Hades 2 was probably up there, but like Star Wars Outlaws, I don't even think we even know anything about that game still, practically. And Tekken 8, maybe, but...
We got gameplay of that, right? Star Wars Outlaws. That's the first open world Star Wars game or whatever. Yeah, I think I saw...
I don't think we got gameplay of that. Really? I don't remember seeing gameplay of that. Maybe.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Cause
we haven't seen anything of Hades.
React to some of it, too.
Okay. Well, we don't have Hades 2 gameplay yet, but I'm sure it's going to look very much like Hades 1. other than what they showed in the trailer, which is just that's like
I
not
mean,
even much.
honestly, for me, out of
Content
this list, that Star Wars Outlaws is probably the one I would be most interested in. I don't know if I'll play any of them.
um
Content creator of the
content
year.
creator of the year, Iron Mouse is what I voted for. I don't even know who these other people
I
are.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know them. I
I
don't
have
really like.
never heard
I
of.
don't like this award at all, honestly. As why is it the
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
Awards?
You know who won content create. You know who won this one year?
Boogie 298.
Boogie 2988.
That's right. Which is another thing we could talk about.
Yeah, freaking Boogie. What a lol cow. Best esports game. Yeah, I don't really care about any of this stuff. I just voted for crap.
Yeah.
Esports athlete. The only one I know there is Faker, so I voted for him.
Why are you voting for the only person you know? You're part of the
um.
problem. Popularity
Uh.
contest.
Esports team. Yeah, but okay, but remember, 90% of these is by game journos who are theoretically paying more attention to this
Might as
crap.
well not vote then.
Best esports coach. I just voted for the guy with the best. Oh, I should have probably voted for Remy. Whatever that name is. It's XTQZZZ. What?
My favorite
Yeah,
esports
what?
coach.
What the? Yeah.
God, it's like such a foreign world to me. You know, the only esport that's not even an esport is Smash Bros. It's the only thing I watch
Yeah.
of competitive gaming. Like, who are these people? Christine Potter, Chi, Danny Zonic Sorensen, Jordan Gunba Graham, Remy Skonium, Yoon Ham Sung Young. I don't know these people.
I don't know who these people from Adam, but I will say I gave a pity vote to Jordan Gunba Graham because rest in peace Overwatch League, which I used to care about. So that was why yeah, but that just doesn't.
What do you think about best art direction?
I mean, I have no idea what's gonna win that. I threw it. You know what I threw it on? I threw it on, and this is only based on like what I've seen of trailers. I threw it on Alan Wake 2 because I think the art direction of that game is really great.
I've heard it is, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised.
It looks really great, beautiful looking. I think that best score in music I threw to Final Fantasy 16, but honestly, Baldur's Gate 3 has a really great soundtrack too. I've heard a lot of it. It's amazing. Art direction. I think Lies of P actually does have a decent chance of winning that too. I think that game has a very, very stark, interesting look to it as well.
Best narrative. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Best narrative.
I threw it to 16, but like I know I don't know very much about past where I'm at. All I know is where I'm at too. It has a great story, so it could I don't know, it could fall apart in the latter half, but
right.
I like what I played.
All right, so
I like how best game direction is just the game of the year nominees.
Oh yeah, that was the one that has all the nominees. So could theoretically be different than the game of the year, but probably is just the same game. Will win that, right?
Maybe not.
Well, if Tears of the Kingdom wins, probably not. Then
yeah,
if Tears of the Kingdom wins game of the year, then it's probably.
I voted for Baldur's Gate 3 there on best game direction.
But I think more than likely Baldur's Gate 3 will win both. So
I think they probably will. Yeah, I think it probably will, and very, very deserving based on what all the buzz my friends say about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it myself. I've just got a list
someday
of stacking up of these games just from this year alone. Theater of them, Curtain Call also.
Yeah, that did exist. It's out there, full of shine and full of sparkle.
So you mentioned the man. We should briefly talk about Boogie 2988. Into the game, he's it's crazy to see where his trajectory of everything has gone. I watched that documentary, which is where all the hubbub is about these days.
Is that the 50-minute one where it was the one done by
Mike Klum or something like that?
Yeah, I watched that. So here's the thing: before I watched that, I also watched two documentaries on Boogie, or two like kind of breakdowns of like chronologically what's going on with him, done by June the King, is another content creator which I very highly recommend. I think he makes really great content. A lot of it is very unbiased. and he just sort of tells it how it is.
Yeah.
Like just goes through the facts. And he's done like a bunch of videos on his like series is called Rise and Fall, but he says that that's mainly just that's a title because like some of these people obviously haven't like fallen, so to say. Some of them have. You know, you got some content creators like Onision and
Yes. Yeah.
Cryotic, ones that have dramatic falls from grace. Cryotic just isn't on the internet anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Onision is yikes.
Yikes.
How did we allow that monster to exist on the internet for
Yeah.
as long as he was around? But there's other ones that are like they're about like Pro Jared or I'm trying to think if there's another one, but like other like Ethan Klein, like he obviously still has a very booming career.
Mm-hmm.
There was an episode on Rooster Teeth that was really good. Anyway, he's done a couple on Boogie, and I had been watching those, and then that documentary came out.
Yeah.
Which and that nestles right into the story a little bit because it takes place like kind of in because like because June the King's most recent Boogie like video was like maybe just like a couple months before, maybe like a month before. It wasn't too long ago. And so like some of the documentary covers stuff like in the middle towards the end, and then like a little bit just past it, like because a lot of it's just fairly recent. So,
Yeah.
where do you even start? You know?
I think he's an interesting person. It's interesting. He's kind of relatively close to home in terms of like he wasn't far off from like our gaming community sort of scene early on. I remember I was never like a faithful follower of his, but I did watch some of his. You talking about gaming stuff, whatever. Just talking to the camera. You know, always seemed chill. I knew about the Francis stuff, but it was never really why I was a fan or whatever. But
yeah, that was sort of he got his big break from that. And I'd watched it and I hadn't really understood the joke. I never got the joke to begin with. I was just like, oh, that's kind of weird.
mm-hmm.
And then later, like I came across it again, like a couple years after that, and people were like, yeah, you ever, Boogie did like those Francis videos, and I was like, oh, I was like playing a character. Oh, that's kind of funny. I was like, that's actually like kind of smart that he did that. It's like that's clever.
Yeah. He seemed pretty chill. It was all it's
Mm.
cool. He was always like, I'll give my unbiased take on whatever it is, And so to see where it's come to now, and watching this documentary, it's sad.
Boy,
It's
yeah,
rough.
it's
And what's funny is like obviously I thought the documentary was well done, but obviously it is very much like it's trying to paint him in the most negative light possible. But it's funny that he actually signed off on it, apparently, and like he had seen the final cut and everything. It's yeah, this sounds good to me. The dark sad life of Boogie 298.
Yeah, well, that's because it's weird because he does kind of have a weird like a self-deprecating complex to him. That's kind of like one of his biggest issues, actually, is that he like
thing.
Yeah. It really is.
It's like,
it's
do this
just
of this and that, and you have that
yeah
viral a clip from this like mock job interview going around, where he's like, well, just heads up, I'm disabled. I have severe depression. I have a felony. If you Google my name, you'll see rumors that I beat my wife and I'm a pedophile. Just listing all these negative things. I have no job experience, no education history.
Yeah. She's like, all right, well, that's difficult, but we could find something. Oh, also, I worked for 3 years in the porn industry.
Yeah, 6 years in the porn industry.
Which I don't even know what that. I don't even know. I haven't watched June the King. I don't even know what he's talking about in regards to that, or if he was just
that he like managed websites or something, like a porn website or something.
Oh, okay, sure.
But yeah,
and then the lady's like, "Let's be honest. Are you really gonna do?" Like, she's like, "Come on, like you're pulling my leg now. Like, you're not gonna actually do that." And then she like quickly ends the interview. It seemed like she was just like, "All right, this is stupid. Like, I'm done."
But like obviously, there's certain things that the documentary does to really hammer things home. Like to have let's have this young girlfriend not only be talking about it, but like let's put her right next to her stuffed animals. Let's talk about her like her childhood trauma or whatever, and make it like really hone in on the fact like, oh, she's very like childlike young girl too. So,
But the terrifying part about it is that like this isn't the first woman that's been like that in his life. That's the thing that's
right.
the weirdest part.
He
That
mentioned
like
that.
this isn't the first time
That's how
something
they
like this has
open the
happened.
documentary too. He's like,
Yeah.
I had this one girl I was dating who was really into childlike stuff, like playing rubber duckies in the tub. That's why I have these rubber duckies.
Yeah,
One of
I'm
my
like,
best memories is playing with these rubber duckies right here.
and then putting her to bed. And I'm like, ew.
And that's
And,
all.
like everything about that is just gross.
That's
I'm
the
like, you sound
tone
like
it
you're talking about
sets.
your daughter. You sound like you're talking about your daughter, not your girlfriend. It's just freaking weird.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
obviously
so
the title itself already tells you what we're getting into, but that even more so.
yeah,
It's like, okay, this is what we're going for here.
yeah, yeah.
Just like financial troubles. He's got,
Self-inflicted too.
yeah, literally specifically breaking down how he had like $750,000 and blew a lot of it on, whatchamacallit,
Crypto.
crypto. Yeah.
He blew a lot of it on crypto. He's blown a lot of it on sex
Sex
workers,
worker. God,
like
that was too much. They
escort
had an
stuff.
interview with this woman who said, "I'm ashamed to
That
admit
poor
that
woman.
I slept with him. He's the reason I quit sex working." Like, Jesus,
Well, no,
put
you
him
know
on
what?
full blast
Yeah.
for no
She
reason.
like well, it wasn't for no necessarily for no reason, but it was a lot. I mean, she
Going
was
into
probably just like
details, like
she
there was
probably was like,
folds
you know
under
what?
folds,
Yeah, she's
sufficient
probably
all
just
behind
like
his dick.
it probably was just like she's just like I have to reevaluate my life after that happened. Where it's just like, do I really want to keep doing this for the rest of my life? Like really? And then she was like, no, you know what? I'm better than this. I'm a bigger woman than this. I can. I might not be as big as a man as Boogie, but I'm a bigger woman than this. I can rise above this career choice.
That's rough, and he
Um,
signed off on that.
yeah.
Come on, he's got. Do you have no pride? Oh man.
No.
But there's all that adding up, and then there's the whole thing when his girlfriend gets into the picture. There's a 29-year age gap. um what do you think about that
Yep.
whole situation there?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't like it. I don't. The thing is like a 29-year age gap to me. If you're like, I don't know, if you're like 70 and like what 40 something, that's a little less weird to me than if you're like 19.
Yeah, that's the only thing is that yeah.
That's the thing that's like really gross about it to me. It's just like, how much do you really have in common with her? Like, she doesn't have like life experience.
He says it himself.
Like,
He's like, we're like the same person. We're just different stages of life. We're like,
that's
he's really sure we're
that's
the
just
same
so
person.
weird.
Yeah.
That's just like what a groomer says. Like, that's the thing that's weird about it to me. Like yes, it's like there's a degree of it where it's like, yes, she's legally an adult, and it's fine in that regard. But like, there is a weird aspect of like there is a point where like age gaps do become very strange in that regard, and that's one of those ones where I'm like, that's weird. It's a little
Right.
weird.
The earliest you dip into that legal age, and then the furthest you go the other way, that's the weirdest.
Yeah,
Weird it gets. That's why, like,
yeah. When you get yeah,
I remember seeing on YouTube at a time, like, seeing these, like, we're a big age gap couple. I forget what they refer to themselves as, but it was like this much older lady who's like 70, and the guy's like 40 or 30 or something. But it's like, okay,
hmm
that's like maybe not my cup of tea, but that's a lot more easier a pill to swallow than when you go to the very like just legal, and I'm 49 years old. It's like, okay,
yeah.
it's a
This
little icky.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little weird when that happens. It just feels like makes you feel like a dirty old man more than anything else. So, and it's just like,
Like she had
it's
not been born yet, and he was full into his adulthood.
yeah.
It's something wild to think about. He was like 30 years old when she's born. it's interesting, but
Yeah.
obviously she loves him and all that. You can see that, but it's just how much of that is
You can see it. Yeah.
like she's very much like I love him and emotional about it. But it's like how much of that I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
his previous partner, who was around when he got like after he got like the weight loss surgery or whatever, like the when they did the thing with his
He got
stomach, like
bypassed
his
and
partner that partner left him,
yeah.
which is something that I've come to understand is actually fairly common when it comes to partners that do that. I almost wonder if it like has something to do with like the partner feeling like they're with them because if it's like a dependency sort of thing where it's like, oh, they need me to
Hmm.
help out, and then after that happens, it's like, well, they don't really need me anymore, so see ya. Or if it's something like that, or there's something else at play. But from what I understand, that's actually fairly common when weight loss
Interesting.
surgeries and things like that tend to happen. So,
Right. Well, cause yeah,
but anyway,
there are people who are just attracted to that kind of body type. Just it's not obviously as common as others, but are people who are
mm,
attracted to the overweight, like cuddly teddy bear type thing. But
hmm
but yeah, so once they lose all that weight, it's like, well, this is not what I signed up for.
yeah, that's not what this is what I signed up for. Yeah, I guess that's a factor. I'm sure it as well.
But
So,
it's so interesting, like because they interview like some of his friends that he does like plays games with and stuff. You know, everybody seems to be like, yeah, he's a good guy and everything. But it's just so weird because now this gets posted after the fact as like my friend is the subject of the dark, sad life of Boogie 2988. It's gotta be awkward now, and he literally says on the camera like, "I don't want them to know that I'm broke and everything. That's embarrassing." And then this
so
documentary,
you
which
just
exposes
yeah, and then
everything embarrassing,
you
comes out.
say it to everyone. You know,
Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta
it's a
hear
little
your friend's gotta go and hear a sex worker talk about how he made her quit sex working. He couldn't find his dick under his folds.
I mean, that's kind of an accomplishment, right?
Is he?
Shouldn't you think that? Like that's how good I was.
And he went out and let
She
her
saw the
spend all this
apex.
money, and even now that's still her takeaway.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm.
sugaring.
So that's just been interesting. I mean,
Yeah. It's a saga.
I wonder if maybe we'll get a redemption arc for Boogie 2988. It's not impossible
I
for
don't
one
know.
day.
No, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. The thing is like we've seen it time and time again. Like he's had these ups and downs before, and every time it's like he swings up again, it
Mhm.
comes right back down because he doesn't learn his lesson, and he never will.
Right.
He's like
Well,
one of it's like all of his problems are completely self-made. People root for him all the time, but he continues to disappoint. It's like Logan Paul except less crooked. Like Logan Paul is just a monster. Boogie's not like a monster. He's just kind of a sad sack, and he's just a loser, and he just doesn't. He complains that he can't do anything about it, and it's like, well, you can do something about it, and people have like rallied behind you to try to help you, and you just don't listen to them. You just rather be a sad sack,
yeah.
and so that's why he's a lol cow. So, so
Yeah.
um,
It sucks because yeah, now with this documentary, it's like he's gonna have a lot of hate watchers now. You know that's very much
I
exists.
think he already kind of did. I think that was kind of already a big component of the
You
people
think?
that watched him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be more now,
But it was
absolutely.
just such
But
a
like the whole,
spectacle. Like the last time we heard about Boogie was when he was like the whole thing with him shooting a gun and everything like that whole
oh
thing.
yeah, that was great. That was one of my
Mhm.
favorite little bits. Yeah,
That was a fun saga, fun era.
it was a fun little saga. Yeah, the
But who knows where we go from
uh,
here now with Boogie 298.
yeah.
Another glorious return who will probably have her fair share of hate watchers is Colleen Ballinger is back, baby.
I just saw something about this today, but I didn't see any. I didn't. She had another apology. Did she sing again?
I guess she did a brief apology in the beginning of the video, and then just went into a fall
Okay.
vlog. So it was a nice fall themed vlog for her viewers, you know.
How appropriate. Yeah, all her viewers. I'm sure
Everyone was
there's
going down to the comments, and
tens.
it's like, yeah, it seems like they cleaned that comment section up a little bit. It's like, Colleen,
Probably
it's
like,
okay. Everybody makes mistakes, and that kind of comment.
where's the gossip
Toxic
the
gossip
gossip
train.
train too? Yeah, where's toxic gossip train too?
Like
Electric Boogaloo.
like
That's
she
what
posted that video and a couple since of just like vlogs, um,
Mm.
which I haven't
She's
watched
such a
them.
clown.
I haven't watched them, but it's like that's gotta be a sad watch
Yeah.
in itself, because it's gonna be like putting on this happy front for the vlog, and
Yeah.
it's not all sunshine and roses. She had to cancel her whole tour and
No.
whatnot. And she's still getting a couple 100,000 views on the videos, but that's like hate watchers for sure.
Yeah.
But
At least 50% of those are hate
I
watchers.
mean, I'm sure there's that. Oh, of course, the audience who just ignores everything, all the hate, but
Yeah.
or like anything negative about who they're watching. Yeah, so she's back too, and also Pokimane's in drama too. I mean,
Oh yeah, I saw this one. She's making fun of her of her viewers basically, or like
charging $7. It's
being
like
like, oh, you're
$7 a bag
bunch of
for
broke
some
boys,
cookies. Yeah,
bunch of broke boys. Nah. And I was like,
broke
oh
boys. Yeah,
yeah,
which is like, I mean, it's a far cry from some of the drama, but it's like one comment,
yeah,
but it doesn't take
right.
much
But it's
for the
like the
Pokimane.
no. Well, the thing about her though, it was something to the degree of like the cookies are basically the exact same thing as this other brand's cookies,
Yeah,
and um those cookies are like $10 a bag, but they're also like 17 or 18 ounces,
yeah, it's like 3
and
times
hers
the
are like
amount.
4 ounces, and they're $7 a bag. That's a lot of money for
Yeah,
cookies. Not very many cookies.
it's funny when
Yeah, and then so people are just raising concerns about it, and then she just was like making fun of them, which just to me, I like when I heard her say that, I just got immediate flashes of the streamer who was like complaining that there was people that didn't sub to her. She's like, it's just $5, and I was like, oh my god, just
love her.
shut up. Yeah, oh yeah, love her.
her.
Who knows if she's even still streaming? Who knows? She might be. I don't know. The $5 girl.
Yeah,
To me, it's like don't. That's like the worst way to sell something. And it's like you, the people who buy your product are like they're the special ones. They're the ones who are going out of their way to support you and buy a product that you've put your name on. Like Joe Q Public or John Q Public, I guess is really not Joe. John Q Public
mm-hmm.
doesn't give a shit. They're not like the people that like maybe were on the fence about it. We're like, well, maybe if it was a little more, like they're the people you should maybe listen to a little bit, because like they're people that want to support you, but maybe they just don't have the funds to. Like times are tough, man. Like inflation's awful, and like people don't have as much money to throw around as they used to. Like I'm having trouble with it, so it's like complaining that people are criticizing or maybe just like offering pointers. I mean, I'm sure there's probably genuine criticism, like being like, hey, this is kind of stupidly expensive for what you get. And if you just like make fun of them, it's just like it's just a terrible way to look at it. I don't it just feels gross to me. I don't know. They're the
Weird.
people that gave you a career.
Yeah, it's funny when wealthy people want to get into these like fun, they're like how privileged they are that they're just like having fun little business ventures. Let me just start making cookies. Let's like make my own brand of this random shit or whatever. And it's like being tone deaf to actually any response to it. It's like, do you believe in this product? Like what, cookies? Overpriced cookies? Okay. Get that
like, all right,
queen.
Yeah. But don't like be upset that people aren't buying it because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like you're in a position where you're wealthy enough to where you can just like you could just possibly hear the criticism and make them more affordable. It wouldn't break the bank. It's weird to me.
Or just have them around for a limited time, because if it doesn't like work out, if you don't get the bag, like, all right, at least you tried something, right? Like you tried something and it didn't work out maybe as well as you would have hoped, and then you just move on.
Yeah.
You take your lumps and you just move on.
I don't know if she's made a response to it yet since Moist Critical did a video and everything. I don't know if she's made anything.
That blew up. His videos always get good views, but that when I first saw that came out, it was like 5 hours and it had like almost 2 million views already. I was like, holy crap. That was just on fire. Like a lot of his videos get over 1 million views, but holy crap, Lois.
Pokimane. Do you think they mentioned Pokimane on Family Guy yet? Are we there yet?
Oh no, that's so embarrassing.
Like a cutaway.
I'm like cringing thinking that's like, holy crap, Lois, Slenderman. It's coming towards me. Pokimane's gotta defend me from Slenderman.
I just imagine a cutaway gag to him like beating the shit out of like a Twitch streamer or something. I could see that. Holy crap, Lois, it's Saikuno. Yeah.
Holy crap, Lois, it's like that time Logan Paul fed a dead body in a forest. I've made a severe lack in judgment. No, lapse. He's made a severe lapse in judgment. That's it. Lapse in judgment. Right. Speaking of lapses in judgment, more drama. We were just more drama, but I wanted to at least touch on Gerard the Completionist. I've mentioned him on our podcast before, and I mentioned him on the channel a bunch of times. So I love his content. I love the guy, but he's in a little bit of hot water right now because of the charity streams that he's been doing for the past few years. Mm-hmm. They haven't donated any of the money that they've gotten from the charities or for charity.
I only heard that you guys talking about it, and I didn't really go into details.
So basically, he started a charity with his family in honor of his mom for dementia research, and Indie Land is a charity stream event that he's held every year for the past like 5 or 6 years or so. It's been quite a few years, and they've raised almost over $600,000 for dementia research, and all of that money is still pretty much just sitting in an account somewhere. It's a little weird. There's a lot of circumstances. So Karl Jobst, who's very well known as the guy who exposed Billy Mitchell, as well as the Wata stuff, the Wata game stuff, is one of the people leading this, but also Some Ordinary Gamers. I think that's his name. Is that his name? Hold on, let me actually look that up. Or I might be remembering that from the influencer award, the Twitch Stream Awards. I just want to make sure I got that right. Get his name right. But Mudahar is who the creator is. Yeah, Some Ordinary Gamers. That's Mudahar. They did like a dual piece on this thing. I don't know like what the genesis of it was. They didn't really talk about that when they're all of a sudden they're just like, we're gonna like look into this, and it's like, what kind of started that? That's interesting. But they started looking into it and were realizing, because their Open Hand is a 501c3 organization, so all of that information is available publicly, so you can get their tax forms and all that sort of stuff. It's available to the public. So they were discovering that, all of that stuff is still sitting in a bank account. Some less than savory news outlets like Dexerto, which likes to run quick, fast, make money, quick news articles about things, wrote an article that made it sound like Gerard was stealing all of that money. So the damage was done significantly with that. I actually don't really like Mudahar's video on it, because it comes across extremely like a hit piece, which a lot of his content does. He's a popular streamer. He's a popular content creator. I think he has a history of doing some like really bad research or bad faith research on people, and just sort of coming up with, or just like not vetting his research very well. Karl Jobst, on the other hand, has a really good track record with a lot of that stuff. So it's kind of weird that they're like the power team here, and I mean they're probably just friends or whatever. So So there's been like no response in regards to this. Gerard didn't upload any videos this past week, according to the real schedule. I'm assuming he's probably compiling information together to make a full response because things aren't looking too well
Mhm.
for them. I will say there are some really great tweets that I saw, kind of in defense of this, being like, "Hey, there's some things here that yes, there's some definitely some stuff here that's really fishy." Like some of the stuff they had on their website being like, "Hey, these are the organizations we're sending our money to." And as early as this year, as recent as this year, Gerard was still listing off like charities that they are working with, that they're sending money to, but they haven't sent any money to. That's weird. He supposedly didn't know that it was all just sitting in an account until just like 2 years ago, or even just as early as last year, or as recently as last year, which is also kind of strange. But I don't think he's like he's not like completely in charge of everything. It's like him, his brother, his dad, and I think a couple other people are running it.
Mhm.
Um, there's some really good write ups done by people who actually run 501c3s. Unlike Mudahar and Carl Jobst, who don't really know what they're talking about when it comes to this thing, but like to pretend they do because they're YouTube researchers. Um, where they kind of there was a person who's like, "Hey, I work on taxes for this. Like, this is like my job. Like, I know what I'm doing here." And I was like, "Yes, there are some things here that are like really bad, that look really bad, but a lot of this is really overblown." And they kind of like detail like reasons why. My take on the whole thing is basically that I don't think he's doing anything malicious. I think he should have done. I think they should have donated the money a long time ago. I think when he found out that they hadn't, they should have just donated the money. Supposedly they're waiting for the right donor or the right like cause. And I think with that, what essentially what they mean by that, what I take to mean they mean by that is they're trying to restrict the donation, is in they want to make sure that it's genuinely going to research, and then it's not like going to an organization that's then spreading out the stuff elsewhere. I think they're looking to funnel that 600K into a certain cause and a certain like function to pay like the right people. I think that's what I would assume they're trying to do. But my take on the whole thing is that I think it's just a case, yet another case of a YouTuber thinking that they can do something that they were vastly underprepared for. Running a business is really hard work. Running a 501c3, based on everyone I've talked to who either who I know who runs one, or people that like closer friends of mine who like just know generally a lot about it, because like so one of my best friends um actually like did a lot of research on 501c3s in college, did a lot of, so he took a class, but like he tends to like he knows a lot about like how they operate and things like that. And to based on like everything, my take is just that I think they were just horribly underprepared to run a charity. Running a charity is not easy. It's like you take running a business, which is already really really hard, and then you make it like 10 times harder because you're running a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
And to me it just comes across as just as gross negligence, which is still bad. Like it's still, he's got a lot to answer for. um but I think a lot of the problem just lies in that. And I think that, well, I think ultimately it's a good thing that it was raised, because I'm sure now eventually whenever they make the response they're probably going to just donate the money to somewhere. um Another thing that sort of sucks about this is that like a lot of that money could have been going towards research, and it just is just sitting in a bank account. And
Mhm.
inflation is making it less worth money now,
I still
which
don't
is like,
understand how
that
is it
sucks
just sitting
too.
in the account? What? How did that happen? I don't understand.
Well, like I said, they were waiting for the right cause or something, or like the right thing, and they're looking. Supposedly, they're actively looking for it. But to me, this comes across as, on our free time, we'll look around for it, or we'll consult lawyers to do this for us. And then maybe they didn't get good lawyers to look into this very well, or they're there's any number of things that they could just be doing in the stupidest way possible
It's a lot of
because
money to put on the
they don't
back
know what they're
burner like
doing.
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it is terrible. Like I'm not gonna excuse that, but I don't think there's, to me, everyone who's like really angry about it make it comes across as there's something like actively malicious going on here, and I don't think that's the case. I think it's just a lot of ignorance and a lot of negligence, like legitimate negligence, and I think that he's got to answer for that.
so yeah.
Yeah,
Nowadays, I'm very much in the position where you gotta wait for the response. That's when we can
yeah,
start criticizing
that's
the most.
that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the response. Because like I mentioned Pro Jared earlier. Give him the benefit of the doubt for right now. I mean, like, yes, there's a lot of legitimate evidence against him. Pro Jared was a lot of hearsay. This is like legitimate evidence against something, like where you can actually look this stuff up.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit more concrete, but I still want to hear an actual explanation here.
Yeah, it's just it's not one.
Um,
It's not a story where it'll be like, actually, it's not. None of it's true. We're gonna come out and say it's not. It's all lies.
right, and that was what the Pro Jared one was like. He was like, "Yeah, I've got receipts. All of it was a pack of lies." It was like, "Oh, okay."
But I personally hope that
Um,
Gerard comes out with like a banjo, starts playing a little song for
he starts playing
us.
banjo kazooie music.
Yeah, that would really get us. That would sell me, I think.
It would make us really happy. Yeah, it would make everybody.
That's what we'll see.
Yeah, probably by the time this comes out, hopefully there'll be a response by then because it's been going on for over a week now. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's gonna be sorry it took so long for the wait. It's been a lot to take in for a while now, but I've been working my lawyers or whatever to compile the statement.
I mean,
All I
probably. I
can
mean,
say
I
for
don't.
now is it wasn't me. There's another person who's to blame for this, and it will all come out in due time.
It was my brother Jacques. It was him the whole time.
It was Greg. All right.
Yeah,
That's our drama roundup. What is this? Just like a drama
yeah.
episode.
This is a drama filled episode. We've talked about
Drama
drama in the past
podcast.
too, but it's just like YouTube drama podcast. That's what we've become. Tune in next time for more drama updates.
Do we want to get into the recap and some comments?
Let's go for it.
All right. So just to tell you every video that's been posted since the last podcast, we got the Coliseum punishment where I took the bean boozled beans.
You poor thing. You poor horrible
But remember,
experience.
this was a response to the. That was the punishment for losing the Coliseum duel horror hangman, and I remember originally it was estimating like, oh, it might have like 10 to 12 beans at the end of it, 10 to 12 strikes. So I was anticipating like 10 beans. I'm like, 3 beans is nothing. That's not gonna be anything. I could just get all good beans, but I can't imagine doing 10 of those. The gauntlet. We had that.
You you were a trooper. You hung in there, even as awful as you.
Yeah.
That was like very visceral reactions. I was like, dang, those must taste like really bad.
It was
I
rough.
was like, I've had like the bad tasting Harry Potter ones, and like this is a while ago now, so maybe they've made them more pungent and worse. I was like, I've had like the bad tasting ones, the Harry Potter ones, and like I'll actually eat them and
weird.
find that they're
so
not all that bad. But here's the thing: they may be totally different now. They may have made them like vile. The other ones were like actually consumable, where they didn't taste all that bad.
Yeah,
I didn't think.
I can never imagine
Yeah.
consuming them. Then we had our Sweeney Todd review. We had
Yes, that's a big highlight for me.
the Fall of the House of Usher review. We had Chance Time spin. We had Mind Crushers number 6 Stepmother. We had our 18 Presents review. We had Tarqaron Mad Libs. And we've had a few episodes of Survivor Fiji along the way. But yeah, 18 Presents was a movie we got from Chance Time. We reviewed that. So what's your personal highlight of the month, you think?
I think my personal highlight was the Sweeney Todd review. It was really nice getting to finally see the that sort of highlighted there, the film version of musical, which I'm a big fan of, and getting to enjoy it, and definitely big appreciator of that. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's my ultimate highlight. I mean, like other stuff reviewed, yeah, Fall of the House of Usher, great stuff. Our Mind Crushers was fun too, but I'd like to highlight Sweeney Todd specifically.
18
As
presents. You can't forget about 18 presents.
it's true, it's true.
Yeah, it might be the Fall of the House of Usher for me, I think. We got
yeah, okay.
in-depth review. It's very close to our longest review. It's like only like a minute and a half shy, or 2 minutes, something like that. So super meaty review.
There's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about there.
But all right, let's see what comments we have here. I don't think we have many. Okay, so we really haven't had many comments at all. I think I have one comment here.
All right. Wow. How about that? We're a little quiet, I guess. That's okay.
Whatever, guys.
Happens.
Comment some more, why don't you? I mean, there's a couple Survivor ones that I can't read yet, but...
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, that's fine.
So, Dubs commented on our intro to the Choose Your Own Gents challenge video, and he said,
okay.
Now the real test is whether or not Alec will fail his personal challenge after failing to sign up for the challenge he often fails. You can do it, Alec. Part the seas of distraction. Finish 3 games just to show that you can.
I finished 1 game. I'll probably beat Mario RPG fairly soon. I'm probably going to actually play it till I fall asleep tonight.
I don't remember what stuff you said you wanted to do. I think you said you wanted to get back to Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I just want to get back to some games that I hadn't been playing. I haven't really been doing that, unfortunately. But, well, I mean, like, I'm trying to, like, crack into games that I either have, like, on my backlog or just generally going back to 16. But
that's fair.
I know. We'll see. Yeah. I'll probably do that after RPG. So I want to beat it. I do want to beat that before the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, me too. I really would like to, because I want it to be eligible in my top lists of 2023 video, stuff like that. But yeah, there were a couple comments about Survivor Fiji that we'll definitely be touching on when it comes to the review down the line and stuff. But yeah, as always, if you just comment below, any comment on any video, we'll read it out on the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast. Regardless, whatever you gotta say, feel free, and you'll get a response here. All right, but that's gonna be it for this episode of the Tarqaron podcast. All right.
Well, hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging in there. Listen to all our drama talk.
Absolutely. There's a lot of drama talk. Hopefully, less so in the next episode. Get something
Hope so.
A little more substantive in there.
Well, we had a lot of video game discussion. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and like the video and all that. All right, and come back next month for another one. Assuming everything goes well. It's like around Christmas time, so I wouldn't be surprised if like we weren't able to for whatever reason. But because I know we got the gift exchange around that time as well. But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll be able to you'll be able to hear from us soon. All right.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Killers of the Flower Moon too. Great. 2 thumbs up. Really good. I highly recommend you see it. So if you've got time, it's very long. So